Okay, great. So I want to first show you, everybody, I want to show you how to use Zoom. If you already know how to use Zoom, ignore me. If you don't know how to use Zoom, please at least give me a reaction like this. Can you see my thumbs up? Yeah, thumbs up. At least give me a reaction. All right, Gayatri, good job.
No, I
All
don't know.
right, and I'm gonna put you on mute unless you need to talk. You can unmute yourself. All right, I'll put you guys on mute unless you need to talk. Excellent. So basically, Zoom is the modality that we're using. There is four software, guys. Four software: WebEx, GoToMeeting, Microsoft Team, and Zoom. WebEx, GoToMeeting, Microsoft Team, and Zoom. We've tried everything. We've tried everything. Let me repeat, we've tried everything. And different banks have different preferences. But if it's up to us and we can control it, we will actually use Zoom because of many reasons. But we have used WebEx yesterday with Credit Suisse, and with AIA last week, we used Microsoft Teams. All good, but Zoom is better for Momenta at this moment. So we can have a separate discussion if you guys want to do that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys confidentially what we just shared with one client. Can you guys all see my screen? Okay. So I've just shared the screen right now. And this is an example of a conversation that Jesse and myself had last week. Okay. And we had a conference call yesterday, and this is the result. We are doing this for all our key clients. Momenta's response to COVID-19 discussion with Bank Julius Baer. So I will share with you, this is what we are sharing with them. And if you guys need a copy of this, just let me know later through email. So this is just the first slide just to give people comfort that we have a plan in place. You know, we want to make sure we're here to stay and we're here to be with you. Keeping in mind, our clients are multinationals and banks and insurance companies and large corporations. They have a lot of these things in place as well, but also they are also getting very confused and very demoralized as well. So it's not just to say that the bigger the better. Everybody's confused, but I wanted to make sure that we're following all these things. So I won't go to these examples here, but here's what we say. We're offering to our clients 3 learning solutions. The first is this one, AmReach. AmReach is an online platform. It is basically what we consider for most of us something called Moodles. Moodles, not noodles, but Moodles right here. It's basically online learning. Some of the trainers have said it doesn't work. Yes and no. So what I would like to do is I'd like to make sure that we are all on the same page. I'm going to walk through this presentation and I'm going to then share with you what works with what situations, okay? Some situations require certain things. Other situations require other things. So let me continue my presentation. So this is online learning, and we recommend this. We can do it up to 100 people. It is effective for 2 to 10 weeks, 2 to 6 hours per week. Everybody log on their own timing. The key word in this is here, asynchronous. No live sessions. What that means is people walk through it themselves. Most of you have gone through something called Momenta Certified Facilitator Program. This is the online learning. To give you 2 examples, in China, we're offering this to certified private banking associates, advisors. And for China Trust, 中国信托, a few years ago, we did the leadership program with them. And right now with AIA, we have how to become an instructional designer and a strategic learning director in a company. We have that program. It's a blended program. It's on-site as well as online. This is suitable for technical skills and knowledge training. The second type is interactive videos. This is what we're doing now. It is synchronous, it's live. We can do up to 100 people. We can use all these things, but this is the best Zoom. And we have done the training, and this is good for technical skills, soft skills, including role plays, and we'll show you some videos, and knowledge training. We also have this called Teach and Learn, which is the edutech company that I am a part of. We allow Teach and Learn to be one-on-one, so very good for executive coaching. But executive coaching, you can also do it on Zoom, but we have a whiteboard, and we can have a scheduled calendar. Just to let you know, in the next 1 month from now, we're in the process of spending money to develop this to be multi-students, one trainer. Right now it's one trainer, one student. But in 1 month from now, we're investing to make it multi-trainer, multi-student, one trainer. So this is what we share, and we walk through this with our clients. Please note right here on the top, the engagements below are different from traditional e-learning, static. E-learning is just watching a bunch of slides. It doesn't really work for most things. And this is the example of what we're doing. Now, we use Zoom, and the participants are at a physical classroom. They're all together in one classroom using Zoom. Another one is we use Zoom, and everybody's in different places, just like right now. Right now, we're actually exactly that. Everybody is actually everywhere, and we're using this. Correct? So that is a second or third example. Okay?
I don't know that one.
Okay, I'm going to stop for a minute and ask any questions so far. If no questions, I'll continue. All right. If you have questions, please unmute. Otherwise, I'll continue. Now, what you see here is the way I talk is much more lecturing in Zoom, and I have to moderate, and that's the different style of facilitation. All right, so also, let me continue onwards. Sometimes the client wants us to go to the facilities, but they don't allow the participants to go to the facilities. Like in a bank, they want us to go Credit Suisse to the facilities because they have an internal conference, video conference call facility. They cannot get access from outside, so I have to go there to do the training. But no participants are there. The participants are all dialing in. Correct? So we're using Zoom. Everybody dial in with M Digital, calling in individually, and so on and so forth. So I won't go through the whole slide, but let me show you the example. And I'm let Audrey talk about this. Audrey, can you unmute? And this is what has happened, and we'll share with you an experience and share with you a video. Audrey, do you mind talking?
Hi, can everyone hear me? I'm actually getting out of the lift, just pick my kids up from the school bus. Okay. Okay, so this is, so Carl, you want me to share what happened at with Bank of Singapore?
Yes, please. The exact program, how you went about it.
Okay, so Bank of Singapore contacted me about 3 weeks to a month ago. So they had a problem. They had a full class signed up for the SAP, Structured Advisory Program, and they were not able to hold any class because no visitors are allowed into their campus at that time. So given that situation, we had to work something out quickly. So we understand what are the challenges they are facing and what are the do's and don'ts. And then we actually piloted a 1.5 days structured advisory program for them. So Carl was the trainer. So on the first half day is Carl doing the lecturing, facilitating the group discussions with all the participants sitting inside the campus, looking at the screen. So in the picture, in the first picture at the top left-hand corner, you can see Carl's face from the screen. So that's him being projected on the screen on Zoom. So everybody,
and by the way, I was wearing shorts, but nobody could see my shorts. But if you see over here, yeah, I was wearing shorts that day. Yeah, I said, I'm going to do a training in my shorts and in sandals.
Yeah, so
Go ahead.
everybody was listening and watching Carl do the presentation, and then they separately break out into different groups to do the group discussion, and they came back to face the screen and present it to everyone else. So that's how the first half day went. That was how the program was designed, and it was facilitated via Zoom. And on day two it's a full day of role plays. So instead of the usual 8 participants to one coach, and the 8 participants had role plays throughout the day, we split the group up into four participants with one coach in the morning, and the other 4 will come in the afternoon. This is for social distancing, so they don't have too many people into one room. So that's what they wanted as well. And with 4 packs to a coach role play, they actually, so the setup is they will do the role play, they will engage the client, which is Carl, over Zoom. So it's like engaging the client but virtually. So actually the feedback for the day 2 was very well, very good, because they think that with a smaller group, the observations are more concise, and they actually learn better in a smaller group setting. So and also I think that because it was the whole thing was recorded, so they are quite so they are more
More
conscious
disciplined.
of how
Yeah,
more conscious of how they should be, how they should be behaving, etc. So yeah, so I
And
guess so yeah.
let me ask, this is private bankers, and the private bankers are quite happy to do the training with the role play in video conferencing, because they said the fact is the clients don't want to meet them, and they cannot go meet the client, and even if they can meet the client, they cannot come back. So they felt that this is a realistic situation given where they are right now, and the next 3 to 6 months, they're not even sure if that will change. So they felt that this role play was actually useful. So, and we have to take feedback. I would like to show Ashwin, if you don't mind. Thanks, Audrey. Ashwin's going to show a quick clip, okay? I'm going to do a stop share so Ashwin, you can show a quick clip,
Okay.
and then I'll come back.
All right. Let me screen share the video. So can you all see the video now in the screen? Okay. So this is the screen where, like just now what Audrey mentioned, Carl is in his corner, and then the other participant is in BOS training room. So as you can see here, all the participants in that room, and Carl is in his corner. So this is the recording of the class. So I'll play back a bit of the session. Oh yeah, correct. So I'll go a bit towards the middle to show you how Carl moderated the session. Hold on, yeah. Okay.
So what you're watching right now is me presenting with the slides and lecturing. But Ashwin, is there anything with me in the video?
I'll have the part where they do the breakout. So in this case, Carl give them some activities to do. As you can see now in the room, they're working on their individual flip charts. And after this, they will present back to Carl. Let me play back that part. Yeah.
There's no sound from the video.
No sound?
No, nothing.
How about now? Is that clear?
Very weak.
Very weak.
What you said.
Because I think I'm playing the video, so it's the audio might not be that loud. Yeah, but if you can see, it just a show that how do we conduct the breakout session, and they present it using the Zoom. So in this case, the lady at the back will present the the result of the breakout discussion to Carl, and after that, Carl can debrief the discussion as well.
So this person right here, guys.
May I ask the client, say what kind of technique do they use? They use just Zoom technology or what else to do their shooting?
In this case, actually, Bank of Singapore used the Zoom. So the day before a few days before the training itself, we will do like a test with the client to make sure the camera in the right position. Carl can see all the participants, and the audio video will work perfectly. So during that day, there's no surprise. Carl just start Zoom from his end. Bank of Singapore will join the Zoom from the training room.
So may I ask how you actually taught them how to deal with their clients on Zoom? Is that correct?
That's correct. So this is day one, and then day two, Penny handled it. So both Penny and I. So day one was actually about technical skills, soft skills, and knowledge. Day two, it was only soft skills, putting in play, role play. So yeah, and the way I did it is very simple. I had 45-minute interaction and lecture, and then I never exceeded 45 minutes because I realized people start looking at the phones and all that. So every 45 minutes, I said, okay, I'm going to stop now. I'm going to give you an activity, work in your groups. And then at the end of 15 minutes, get your coffee, get your phone done, go to the toilet and have your discussion. At the end of 15 minutes, come back and present. It worked amazingly well, shockingly, frankly speaking. I sometimes wonder with participants' attitude, but I think this whole COVID-19, at least everybody starts to realize, they have to do something a little bit with a lot more sincerity and a lot of authenticity. So that's what I realized.
That's a good news.
Yeah, I was surprised. Ashwin, can you show a little bit about the role play examples?
Okay, I'll play the second video. So this is the second day. Carl will do a role play and the other participant will be in the other room. Let me just play. So this is where the role play of the participants are.
Again, no sound. Cannot hear anything.
No sound?
No, nothing.
Okay. What about now?
Some
The
noise.
sound is very soft.
Sound very soft, is it? Okay, let me
My children in the
Oh, that's better.
house right now, so I'm a little bit worried. What about your bank? How do you guys feel about everything so far?
Yes, we are doing very well, and the portfolio, because of the virus environment, all this stuff, but your portfolio is being managed well. So not to worry about that. So I'm going to go through with you your portfolio and then to explain how it is, the situation right now.
Okay, well, before we go to portfolio, Michiko, I just want to find out because honestly, my son, Simon, he's been traveling and he cannot come back because of the travel ban. So, how about the bank? Are you guys under? Are you able to travel or not? I just want to find out what is your bank's position because my son now is overseas on a business trip and now he cannot come back.
Our bank is also
So she is the RM and this lady is a Japanese. Actually, you can stop this now. So just to reassure everybody, during the actual Zoom, this is a recording that we're playing back, but during the actual Zoom call, it was not delayed and it was not so choppy, all right? And remember, she's a Japanese. So in my opinion, it was pretty amazing that she was able to do the job. But any questions by anybody so far? And I'm going to ask Penny to chip in a moment, but let me get some questions, if any.
So I do have a question. Please go ahead.
Emmanuel.
just a quick question for me. That would be great for us to have access to these videos as a way for us to prepare.
Yes, we will make a note of that. Joshini, can you make a note of that, please? Let's give everybody a video link so they can actually look at it. But I think because remember, Emmanuel, we recorded one day, 9 hours. We will try to chop it up a little bit so you can see it, just to get the flavor. It doesn't make sense for you to do 1 day of watching. So we will clean it up a little bit, but good point. Any other questions or comments?
I would like to ask Carl, say, in this case, the participants are in the office and they are gathered in a classroom. Have you done anything that each of the students are in their own place? So the whole thing is on Zoom. Is there any such?
Not yet. And our conversation with Credit Suisse is around that discussion. Jesse, can you just give some comments of what Credit Suisse is looking to do? Jesse, yeah. Go ahead. Can you share what Credit Suisse wants us to do?
Okay. Okay, so Credit Suisse wanted us to do a few different things. One of it was a half-day workshop on executing your business plan. So that one, we will be running it, as per the webinar like that, in chunks of like 45 minutes. Then they were planning a webinar for like 1.5 hours to 2 hours time on getting net new assets from clients over the phone. Or
sorry, Jess. What I was saying, Credit Suisse, they're not going to put their people in the same room, right? Everybody's going to be dialing in, correct?
No. Yeah. So what happens is that Credit Suisse now, the office is very restricted. So everybody is going to dial in from home. And they've got everyone working from home pretty much. So everybody will be dialing in from home. And initially they wanted Carl to be at their office to use their internal system, but they were having some problems getting visitors now, allowing visitors in. So they're exploring, platforms like WebEx and Zoom to see which would work better.
Thank you, Jess. I asked that question because in Hong Kong, the COVID-19 situation is so serious. So many people mostly work at home. So I could foresee in the future, there might be a lot of this kind of training that have the same requirement like Credit Suisse.
Yes, it definitely will. It is definitely almost an expected escalation point. I think to be realistic, our clients have to think about, really having people calling in from wherever they are in their own homes to run, to do any training of any sorts. It's just that we have to package it and maybe redo the instructional design a little bit to make sure that, the attention span stays, because, to be on video, on a Zoom call like this for 2-3 hours, or even more than 4 hours, is going to be really, really tough. Yeah. So then the instructional design bit, we have to think about how to break it up and how to include, different activities and all, so that it is digestible and yet engaging, and also, allow them short breaks. And of course, to ensure that they can still do role plays.
Thanks, Jess. Can I ask Penny to also chip in? Penny, can you share a little bit about your experience doing the facilitation for the role plays? Because you did it. You're the one with the most experience at this moment.
Yes, thank you, Carl. Hi, everybody, once again. Well, I was on day 2 of Bank of Singapore in a separate small office to Carl. So Carl was doing the coaching as you saw just now. I was equally doing coaching for 4 in the morning and separately 3 in the afternoon. And what I realized, of course, preparing, was that I really have to ensure that not only am I, as always, well prepared, but I'm able to articulate well on camera and connect effectively with them via this mode. It was a little bit different from having that variance of having them around really, really live. So as we all do, best foot forward, and as we all do as well, making sure that I almost a mirror of Carl, the way that we run the role play, give them that time to prepare, make sure that that debrief is effective, going around rotationally to each of the observers for the good bits, the keep I always call it, and then separately, then going on the areas observing to change, being constructive as always. And
So
then,
Penny,
yes.
sorry, just a quick one. Can you tell us what was working well and what didn't work well from a technology
Okay.
point of view?
Yes, it worked. I mean, I was crossing everything, as you can imagine. It worked smoothly. I was very lucky to have support downstairs in the office should I get into trouble. I only had one moment that it really stopped. So again, a very quick mobile call. Audrey came up. Audrey sort of tapped around and showed me exactly what I had to do, and we reconnected very well. I would say that that was the only hiccup that we had. What really went well is, as Carl has said, the attentiveness of everybody. They knew that they were being recorded, and somehow we created, and we both shared afterwards, we created much more intimacy with them on this particular sort of chat show, if you like. It was a feel-good factor. Of course, it's important to embrace them, making sure that they feel comfortable doing it this way. And Carl and I both, we believe, did that. All in all, it was a very effective learning activity. And as always, we ask right at the end how they felt. And they were, all of them, very positive about that experience via Zoom and the change going to place. And I did mention myself about helping them connect articulating messages very well with clients using this mode. So that really made them feel rather authentic in this crisis time. So all in all, it went well. We had a second go early this week doing exactly the same thing, making sure, of course, that the standards that we achieved with them were consistent and they were sustaining. And again, Audrey embraced us, and Jamie, as an example here, helped us with technology. This time, second time around, we did it in the office. So we heard Carl all morning on day one, and then I did the coaching for morning two in the office, and that also worked well. So all in all, I believe a success story. Thank you. Any questions?
Thanks, Penny. Thanks, Penny. And Penny, if you can put on mute. Audrey, what is the client feedback from the participants?
Sorry, the participants' feedback.
Yes.
Sorry. Okay. So for day one, in terms of rating, we've always got very good ratings from BOS. So for day one, I think the rating was about 4.7, 4.8, which is really good upon 5. So that's almost perfect. But for day two, it was 4.9 to 5. So most of them actually rated a full marks for the coaching. So there were so this is a very positive sign, which is why BOS decided to have the second class as well, even though the markets were bad and a few people pulled out, but they insisted they will continue the program with just a handful of participants. So so the feedback was very good.
Thanks. So guys, Audrey has mentioned something very important. We all know the stock market is basically going through craziness right now, and plus the COVID virus, plus the Zoom. But the fact is, Bank of Singapore now has already agreed to continue to restart the training. So Gayatri, Veronica, and Emmanuel for the Singapore team will be talking to you soon offline. Separately, Credit Suisse, which is mainly me, are now exploring it. But Credit Suisse don't want to use Zoom. They are not allowed to use Zoom. They're going to use WebEx. So we just tested it yesterday. So thank you very much, Audrey, for that sharing. Jesse, what is the flavor of Julius Baer right now? Just to give you guys a flavor of what the clients are saying. Jess?
Okay, for Julius Baer, they have been doing webinars and lunch and learns over WebEx internally. So now we're in discussion with them, looking at doing the advisory camp for new hires, for existing RMs, and for team heads, using the same platform. Of course, we're going to start with the most familiar program with them, which is the advisory camp for new hires. And that is actually a 2-day program. Just a quick refresh for everyone. Day 1 is in-classroom training. Day 2 is a full day of role plays with role play actors involved and coaches. Now, so we have discussed with them. We have talked about the platforms and the use of our M-Digital app for content, for assessments as well. There are assessments required by IBF, where they have to do quizzes and all that. So we are looking at, we have introduced to them somewhat on the platforms and how it can be done. They are at a stage where they are actually doing an internal discussion, and then they will get back to us whether they would be agreeable to proceed or not. Now, because the Julius Baer is internally, they are using WebEx. So we're also looking at, how we can have breakout rooms on WebEx. Currently, they are all in the office.
Sorry, Jess. So a quick one. They like Zoom. They are convinced that we know what we're doing. So now we're in the discussion. Next week, we will go to Julius Baer. We will buy 2 laptops. Why 2 laptops? Because there are 16 participants. 16 participants, 8 rooms, 8 per room, 8 per room. Because their participants are in 2 different locations. So we need 2 laptops. Go ahead.
Yeah. So their participants are in 2. Currently, they have a split office mode. So they have some teams that are located in one office, and another team, some other teams, another group of teams in a different location. Right now, it is like that. Okay, but given the new things that are happening and all, we don't know how they will change. So I think Julius Baer also needs to be prepared.
So right now, the thinking is 2 rooms, 8, 8, okay, 8, 8. And we will buy 2 laptops. And we will put our laptops there, and we will buy 2 hotspots. The 2 hotspots. Why do we buy the 2 hotspots and a laptop? Because their laptop has a lot of security that cannot go out. And their Wi-Fi internally has a lot of security and cannot use. So we will go and buy 2 laptops and 2 hotspot Wi-Fis. That will allow us to be able to work together with them and go around the system. Now, Credit Suisse, they don't like this. So they're forcing us to use WebEx. So we have 3 big clients with 3 scenarios. One client, which is Bank of Singapore, they already use Zoom. So this is good. 2, Credit Suisse, they don't want to use anything but their own, WebEx. So we have to do it. 3, Julius Baer is open to Zoom, but don't want to use their Wi-Fi. So we have to install the Wi-Fi, which is a hotspot, and our own laptop. So that's that. Now, as we all know, a big part of our client base, and Masa, you should know this in Japan, but every banker has 2 mobile phones. So the bank's mobile phone is always recorded to make sure there's no fraud and a lot of sensitive topics under the bank phone to give orders, because it's recorded. But the second mobile phone is their own. We have this technology, which we will roll out next week. It's an app called M-Digital. Under M-Digital, You can watch videos. You can watch videos. I'll share it to you. You can watch videos. You can watch your slides. All you need to log in is an email address. We can also have the slides and materials here, feedback and polling. You guys can watch the net new money calculator. I'm going to show you in a minute. And even HCF questions. And you can see the materials here. And if you want to, you can take your own notes. We can even do a quiz. If you can see over here, quiz. Okay, I don't have quiz here. So we have that as an option if you guys are interested. And actually for Momenta, this is all basically the technology that we will provide as a part of working together in a team. So that is that. So participants, by the way, Chandan and Darwin, in a country where it's so big, they have full-time staff just to print out materials and carry materials everywhere. In Singapore, Momenta, we calculated last year, we spent about almost $20,000 for printing materials, which I don't mind. I only mind because when I give it to the trainers and the trainers bring it to the rooms, 30% of the participants leave the materials there. And we try to reuse it. I know Emmanuel, Gayatri try to reuse it, Veronica try to reuse it, but sometimes you just put their name there so you cannot reuse it, but they leave it there. It breaks my heart, and we're killing trees. So we're going to tell our clients in the future, if you want, this is Singapore, okay? If you want us to print, we'll charge you for it. Otherwise, download this. Initially, our client says, no. I said, okay, then pay for it. And then they say, no, because participants don't want to download. I said, that's nonsense. So anyway, the world is changing, and I think a lot of our clients now are much more open-minded than before. I want to take a pause and entertain any questions or comments.
So
just one comment from me. Dexter,
go
ahead.
The two computers that you bought, does the client pay for it, or Momenta has to pay for it?
Momenta is paying for it because I'm hoping that we'll keep using that computer in the same place. You see, the way I'm looking at it is, it's an investment for me. Right now, I'm dying. There's zero business. And if there's an option for me to get a little bit of cash flow, I'll invest in it. So that's it. The computer is a one-time investment, but the hotspot is an ongoing investment. But it is what it is right now. We're dealing with a situation. But good question. Sorry, Emmanuel, you're saying?
Yeah, more like a comment. I think for us as facilitators, in order to prepare for that different way of facilitating, it would be very useful to learn from you a lot of tricks. So, for example, you mentioned the HCF model answers. How would you, for example, facilitate such a model? Or Penny was mentioning the coaching session on day 2. And as you know, sometimes during the coaching sections, we like to stand up and share with the participant maybe a topic in particular, maybe the 4 E's. Maybe it's relevant to come up and start to share with them for 2-3 minutes the 4 E's on the flip chart. How do you replace the flip chart for these 2-3 minutes by using this technology? So if maybe not in these sessions, but later on through the videos that you've already done, etc., we can learn all of these tricks of facilitating or replacing what we don't have access compared to on live session. That would be very useful.
I'll give a quick comment. Emmanuel, I know you're thinking like 3 steps ahead, which is great. A first quick comment, it is going to change. So we are now, Audrey and myself and Jesse and Penny, with our existing Singapore clients, we have restructured our, what can I say? We have restructured our session plans to chunk it up. And in each section, there's less interaction on the spot, but more lecturing. But there's still a lot of interaction when we give them an assignment. So we realize this as a technique. Participants cannot interact right there, just like the way you have hold a classroom. Because they're all going to be paying attention. They're trying to pay. It's interesting. They're paying attention more because they want to be careful about it. And there's the speakers. But if you give them time to pause, work together, they will interact quite actively. What I also realized as an example, Emmanuel, when they interact with me, it's not effective. But and when I ask them, why do you interact with each other and I listen in, that I'm actually an audience, it worked much better. So those are just a few things that we realized. That's I'm just sharing with you my example. Yeah. So good question. Any other questions? Yes, go ahead, Roy.
Yeah, I interested in the what you call M Digital. This is
Okay.
a option, or they should buy and they can use it.
Great question. So I'm giving 3 examples of our existing clients. Each of our existing clients that we're talking about does about a few $100,000 worth of business for us. So with these clients, we're offering it for free, but I will leave it to each one of you. You are all my partners, right? You're managing directors, managing partners, and our senior consultants and trainers. I will allow you guys to make that decision commercially yourself. The technology has been built. We are investing heavily into it. It's an expensive technology, but it is a good technology. It is both for Apple, iOS, and also for Android. So I will leave it to you guys to decide what you want to do. For most of the proposals we're pitching right now, we're saying if you give us X dollar, we'll give you this license for 100 users for free for 2 years. That's what we're saying right now.
Oh, okay.
Good question. It's a commercial discussion. I just want to show you, this is an example of Bank of Singapore just 3 days ago. This is the participants there. By the way, they have to sit, look at this. They have to sit very far apart. They have to sit very far apart because of the government regulation. So, but it's still, again, it was very good. So as an example. Other questions or commentaries? But we have seen it work. We have seen it work.
From what I heard and from what I see, I think it's great. For one thing, Carl can cut down his flying. That would be a major benefit for him, I suppose. And then,
I
of course,
hopeful.
with this, as the condition develop, it seems that this is a must go online. There's no choice with the COVID-19. We don't know how long it's going to stay for, and the good thing is they force us to go online all the way. And the good thing is we can reach anywhere in the world. At the same time, we might end up with a lot of competitions from other countries who might be doing the same, like what we're doing now. Say, before our competitors mostly are local, so now we are talking about very regional competitions that could happen. And so I thought we must be prepared for that.
That's very good insight, Dexter, and I appreciate your forward thinking. I just want to make 2-3 quick comments. I think it's not as easy as just using Zoom. I think there needs to be some intelligence in redesigning the session plan. As Emmanuel said, how do you interact and all that? So that's that. Second is actually, as you know, for our Momenta family, we're doing more and more scribing, video clips. It was not for this purpose, but now it seems to be very, I remember Veronica just 2-3 months ago, she goes, we have so many video scribes describing. Can we use it for different clients? So we are now having our own inventory of about 20 or 30 different video scribes and explainer videos. So I agree with you, Dexter. We can be a first mover on this, but at the same time, I think it's not easy for an individual trainer or training company to rethink this, because this requires a combination of technology, great facilitation and coaching, as you guys know, a client that's willing to try something new, and instructional design to redesign it. And remember, when we do the redesigning in Singapore, at least, there's a lot of government regulations for our clients in the bank industry. So we have seen that. We've also prepared for you guys something like this. This is for the client. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And this is what we have to do. We'll send all this information to you. What I mentioned just now is this one right here. Right, and for me, if possible, I have 2 computers, one for my slides one for my things. Because look at this, okay? If you guys look at me now, what I will do is I will also do this. So you see me, and I can say welcome. And I have 3 objectives.
Carl, you are still on screen share, not video.
Sorry. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, great. So you guys can see I have 3 objectives. Okay, so you can see that I try to write here 1, 2, 3. So you know, I try to be as interactive as possible. You know, some of you may know this tool, which is the tool about the cash quadrant, and I did that the other day. And I try to use different colors. And what I did is this, I said, okay. Okay, the orange part, sleep well at night. Green part, this. Red part, this. And the purple part, this. Okay, team number 1, which is the team that is led by Kevin. I want you to work on this. I'll give you 10 minutes. Team number 2. And that's what I was doing. So I was able to deliver it. It takes a little bit of thinking. My first 45 minutes was difficult, but after that it was smooth. So, but but I have the videos, and you guys can feel free to review it and check it out. I'm, by the way, I'm not an expert in this whole new way, but I have done a few rounds. I welcome the feedback so we can grow our knowledge base. But I am an expert in Zoom now. Other questions?
One suggestion. For example, now when we are doing this conference, a lot of you guys have mute video. But when we do the training, if possible, there should be a ground rule that no participants should shut down their. With the video turned on, their behavior will be more disciplined. They will not just walk away and the camera on. I think that helps to create the energy instead of letting people close down their videos.
Great. These are different ideas that we can still build a knowledge bank, and we will start to collect all this and improve. So really, at this moment, that's what I wanted to kind of cover. I want to say where we are as a company. We're surviving. I don't know for how much longer, but we are. Number 2, our clients are opening their minds up much faster than we expected because they're stuck. The learning directors have nothing to do right now. Nothing to do. They're scratching their head. The first 1 week was easy. By the 5th week, they're worried about their jobs. They're looking for something to do. Third, we shared with you the document that we shared with our clients. So they're beginning to see the benefit of all that. And they're now very open, I would say very open to working with us on those matters. 4th, we have seen some success. And at least the top 5 clients for Singapore, Hong Kong, Malaysia, and Hong Kong, they're beginning to be open-minded. And also, Momenta is investing in the technology. We have our M Digital that costs us a lot of money and almost 6 months of development. And we have a few more things that we are going to be building. So this is a Zoom call, and I appreciate all of you dialing in, but we're going to have the similar one for ourselves under Teach and Learn. So let's go around the room real quickly as we finish this call. We are about 1 hour into the call. Maybe we'll continue.
I have a question.
Yes, Gayatri, go ahead. Go ahead.
I know that, you're sitting at your desk and, you have a lot of stuff. You have the chart behind you. You have, 2 computers. I'm just wondering, really, for example, when what is your, strategy for us? I mean,
I have an answer. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second. I have an answer. This is my answer. 3M, Post-it. They have actually flip charts to go. So these are possibilities. It's a little bit expensive, but these flip charts are for instant meetings. So we can get that for you. And this flip chart looks like this. Sorry. Looks like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
So these are one idea as an example. Great question, Gayatri.
But I understand. But the thing is that, so that means I'm talking and I'm sharing. So I can't just share the screen. I have to take a decision. Sometimes I take my face away and share this because, if I do this without sharing my face, the interaction might be lost.
I have a suggestion, Carl.
Go ahead.
Remember, I shared with you that app's called Mural, MURAL .co. That is an app that can provide a whiteboard and also a lot of post-it in colors. So that can replace the flip chart. It's interactive. Say the participant can just make use of that apps and then to write on post-it, and a lot of interactive communication can be done. Yes, that's the one. And it is a very powerful, say, apps, but then of course you have to learn how to handle it. But that will solve the problem that Gayatri has mentioned.
This is wonderful. Thank you. And we're learning right now. Also, by the way, Gayatri, one thing that you may want to do with the flip chart I showed you is you may want to prepare the flip charts in advance.
I agree. I think that's exactly where I was getting to. Because then it makes sense, because even if I'm talking, I can still hold it up and say, okay, I'm just going to share it if you can't see it. And then, still try to go back and forth to be interactive.
Correct. Correct. Any other comments? If not, I'd like to close this meeting and ask each one of you to share your comment, your thoughts about how do you feel about what we presented, workable, not workable?
Kyle.
Okay, Kevin, go ahead.
Just the successful virtual delivery for BOS. I think it'd be really good if we could package that and make it a bit like a case study of, hey, we've done this successfully with the major bank in Singapore. So something that we can send out to prospects. So they go, oh, wow, these guys have not just talking about it, they have done it. And this is how they've done it. And so, yeah, whether it becomes a video or a few photos or whatever.
I agree, but I want to be very, very sensitive. That's why I'm talking to this inner circle. With existing clients, we show this thing. I blank out the client name, but banks are very, very sensitive about you showing other people's faces there without permission. So I do understand it. I usually show this in the presentation over there, but I don't leave a specific copy. But yes, with prospects, I'm less excited about it because it could go into the wrong hands. And we have had in the past, not this time, but a few years ago, somebody said, hey, you're sending our pictures around. So just be a bit mindful of that. But yeah, if we can, let's do so. But I will let you use your own discretion. Good point. Yeah,
Carl,
Roy.
I wonder, Carl, if the participant can come to their training room and you don't come, why? And the second is, do you have the example that the participant not in the one room, but they must dial from their homes?
There's two questions. The first question is why I can go, but the participant, the bank has a policy.
Okay.
Different banks have different policy, and I don't understand how the same industry has different. So, Bank of Singapore, no visitors, but staff can come.
Okay.
Credit Suisse, staff stay home, visitor come. I don't know. Just some guy who's very smart thinking about all this.
Okay.
So the second question was, we don't have at this moment experience with so many people dialing in on this video. We don't have that yet. But with Credit Suisse, our expectation is we will have that soon. So we will let you know. Great. Maybe I will go around and quickly just ask each one of you to give some comments, and we'll wrap up in 5 minutes. Gayatri, your thoughts about what we discussed today? Good, bad, so-so?
Good, because I actually, heard your day one, that you did, and I thought it actually went very well. So I was quite surprised. The day two, I'll be very happy if the videos are shared. I mean, both the day one and day two. But I agree, this is the only way forward.
Thank you. Roy, your thoughts?
Yes, this is very great. This is how we anticipate COVID, and Indonesia right now is very distressed about the cancellation, and this is relieve me that we will still sell to the customer, our customer.
Thank you, thank you. Masa, how do you find this? Do?
Yeah, thank you very much. It was very helpful because the Japan now we're a little bit shocking because the Olympic is postponed and business is pretty bad now. But hopefully I can introduce this kind of new technology to some of my existing clients first. Thank you.
Excellent. Masa, we have about 4 accounts for Momenta training, but it only costs about $15 a month to get an account. So
Okay.
I recommend just invest $15, 15, 1.5, and it's actually per month, and it gives you 100 participants. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Pia, thank you. What are your thoughts, Pia?
Visiting Carl, and we really need to explore how we can work this out in India. As in India, as you know, it's complete lockdown, so neither employees nor any offices, they are not allowed to work. But yes, this is the way ahead, and it's definitely a talking point with most of our clients.
Excellent, thank you. Sherman, how do you feel about Taiwan situation with this?
I think technology is always welcome here. But I do think we need to have a different pricing because they would feel it should be cheaper since we are not going out or we are not physically be with them. And then the other things I'm thinking about maybe the programming will be different because there should be more modules and for the client to choose the knowledge part and the interactive part. So I think we are going to a new era. So maybe I would say if there will be a product map, a roadmap for us, it will be helpful.
That's a good point. Thank you. And yeah, just to let you know, our pricing right now in Singapore, we have not changed so much because we're actually dying and we need some cash flow. But our clients may actually change the pricing discussion soon. So it's something to think about. Ashish, your thoughts together for today? What do you think, Ashish?
Yeah, we have been speaking. There were a couple of pipeline clients. So as Pia pointed out, it's a complete lockdown. So don't expect any magic straight. But yes, we'll take this to the client and see if we can work on such options. We showcase it to them and try and get some reaction from them. Because one or two were very near that earlier planned something in April. Now things are pushed back, so we'll take this to them.
Okay, and again, MTSK: mindset, technical skills, soft skills, and knowledge. Mindset, very difficult to do it this way. Mindset really needs interaction in the person, but possible, but difficult. Technical skills, very good for this. Soft skills, we have demonstrated we're able to do it. And knowledge, you can use the MReach. Emmanuel, your thoughts for today. How do you feel about what we discussed?
Yeah, no, that's great. And congratulations to you, Carl, and the whole team for, I can imagine the huge amount of work that you put together in a very short period of time to do this transition. So I'm very happy with that. I think that the model of CS is probably the way where I would expect this to go. Now, this model whereby everyone dial in separately from their home or on locations. Now, when I was doing my coaching course, I benefited from a lot of this Zoom training session, actually.
Hello? Emmanuel, we lost you. We'll come back to Emmanuel. Emmanuel?
We can't have group activities anymore, so we have to think of individual activities, and we have to think of how do we get the different people interacting through the Zoom session. So it will require a bit of thinking for us to change and adapt the activities accordingly. But from my experience as a receiver of Zoom teaching from different types of trainer and facilitator during my coaching course, that worked actually very well.
So in a way, you've been exposed as a recipient, right?
Yes, yeah.
And by the way, what Emmanuel said is, with Zoom, you can do breakout groups. So you can, if everybody, Roy, was calling in, 16 people, you can say, okay, different people are in different breakout groups and discuss and bring everybody back. You can have a click button here. So very good. Rick, what are your thoughts, Rick?
I have some thoughts and 2 questions, actually. So the thoughts is that I went through my master program recently when the professors cannot fly in from Australia. So we did a session where we are all in a room, and we also did a session where we are all in different areas. So we all had a chance to facilitate the session because that's part of the curriculum. One of the key things that we discovered that the course syllabus has to slow down. It takes more time to come in. Like if you plan your course outline one day, we have to give the buffer, probably the first half of the day, for everyone to get used to it, to slow down, to really go into a time, a rhythm that is with the technology, instead of like in classroom, we are so animated and so excited to move forward. So that is my sharing. So my question now is that just now the BOS example was very interesting. Do you all bring cameras there to film them, or is it just using the laptop? How can this be implemented? Is it that we're going to bring cameras to all our clients' place in future? That's the first question. Second question is there any concern with PDPA, like videoing all our participants? Do we need to get advance approval from them?
Great questions. With Bank of Singapore, I don't know the answer, but usually because of the angle, I imagine they just got one of those $79 video cams there. That's easy. And we have like 8 of them in the office if you ever need it, Rick. But it's very easy. If participants are calling in like now, it's just using your laptop. If your laptop doesn't have a video, I think going into training is something that's not for you to worry about. You gotta go get a new laptop first, because the last 10 years, all laptops have their own cameras. But yeah, I think the video at the bank site has a little camera that they use, and it's a plug-in. It's not one of those, movie production cameras. PDPA, we don't know. But for training, we always, as a routine, 50 to 70% of Momenta's training are recorded because they want to play back the role plays. So that is not an issue so far. If they don't want to record it, then we just click unrecord. Because
for this, when you press the Zoom, the record is recording the audience, or is a separate program to record the audience?
No, it's just basically, everything that I'm doing right now, I'm recording it. Yes. So later on, if you want to watch it, you can just watch it together. I'll just give you the link. The recording is actually the recording function of this conversation we're having right now, with me going like this with my hand.
Okay, thanks.
Great. Veronica, hi. You've been a little bit quiet, and we have noticed that your ceiling is very clean and white. Hi, Veronica. Are you there? All right. I'll come back to Veronica later. She's probably getting coffee. Oh, there she is. So, Veronica, what are your comments based on our conversation? I'll unmute you. I'll unmute you.
I think you were muting me. That's why you could not hear me.
Oh,
I've been
go ahead.
talking. Hi, good
Okay.
afternoon, everyone. First of all, Carl, I just want to say congratulations on your innovative ideas. I think this COVID-19 has bring a lot of good things to many people as well, not just bad things. And what I was wanted to comment about is perhaps we need to fine tune a little bit of the delivery part of it, given that this is all new for every one of us here. You have done it before and you have demonstrated the ability to captivate the audience as well, even on a remote basis, which is a very, very good thing. Suggestion is to captivate this as soon as possible before other people approaches the clients
Good point.
with other stuff, okay? And I think there should be a premium to something new, innovative, rather than a discount.
That's a great point. I think it's a great point. And I think for each one of us as facilitators and professionals, I am forced to really think about how we do things. It's funny, we always try to teach people how to change, but I don't like to change. But this whole thing, you're right, Veronica, it's forcing me, no choice. When your money stops flowing in, you think, okay, what should I have to do? So I do agree with you. There's some bad things out of this thing, and people are getting sick and dying. But there's some good things and I love the fact that you're also very optimistic. So just like me. Thank you, Veronica, for sharing. Dexter.
Thank you.
Dex, unmute.
I was
Okay,
saying
go
I
ahead.
totally agree with Veronica because the clients is buying us for the results that we produce. As long as we can produce the same result, there's no reason why we should reduce our price. And actually, in Hong Kong, there are a lot of trainers are really doing catch up about this online technology. We're going crazy because we know that if we don't do that fast, then we will become history. That's the way the world's going, especially even without the COVID-19. A lot of companies are talking about they don't do international trainings and they want to cut the cost for flying all the people in. So this is a perfect opportunity for all of us to move on, to catch up with the new technology and to prosper. That's the way I see it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Chandan, some comments from you, please.
Yeah, hi. So Carl, I think what I liked about the whole thing was that we are offering a package. It's not the Zoom. You have option to actually do each Zoom, the teach and learn, and also you have the option to use an app. So I think what is very important is to package and position. That's one thing. Internet stability is always going to be an issue somewhere, sometime at this point of time. We have to work around that. The third most important thing is to actually discover how to use Zoom effectively, because there are, just like as you said, that we can actually have private rooms, we can keep, breaking it up. So I think mastering the technology is very important. So if there are some guidelines, some this on Zoom, though one can Google search and find out as to how to use Zoom better. But if there are some guidelines, notes, it will help a lot. But the slide that you just presented, if you could just share without the pictures of BOS staff, I think it will help, because that will be one of the initial pitches that we can make to most of our clients as to what's Momenta doing differently and how's it. And we need to move that fast. I agree with Veronica and Dexter on this, that we need to move fast on this. So without the pictures, or if you can replace with some of the pictures, it's important to have this as fast as possible so that one can send out. So it's more about the marketing material to the clients, saying that this is what it is and this is what Momenta is doing differently.
So at the end of this, at the end of this conversation with the managing directors and the managing partners, I'll be sending out the soft copy. You can manipulate as you see fit.
Sure.
And for right now, I've taken out the client's name so you cannot see it. So this one we're sharing with our close clients. But just Chana makes a very good point. This is a checklist that we want everybody to be able to know. This is a checklist that you need to be able to understand all these functions in order for you to be able to be able to demonstrate. This is a checklist, but it's good. I'll share all this. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Chandan. And again, Chandan is running a very thriving business for us in Momenta, India. Thank you. I'm going to get Penny and then Kevin, and then we will wrap up. Penny, any final thoughts here?
Well, as I'm always excited about new things. And I do agree with Veronica there. We've spent, and we heard you've spent rather, a lot of money building M Digital. We need to get that money back from a business, a commercial sense. So never, never discount. In fact, sometimes we have conversations that Momenta really is running its delivery fee rather cheaply compared to the market. So we're not going to discount, and probably we increase, given, as I say, the expertise that we continue to carry in the marketplace. That's all. Thank you.
Great. Kevin, your final thoughts? I'll just Jesse and Audrey already spoke a lot, as well as so your final thoughts, Kevin.
Sure. Yeah. So I think my thought around it, I think it's excellent. And the fact that we have successful delivery, I think, is a huge plus for us. So I think the thing is to not be the best kept secret, but to get it out into the marketplace. Hey, we've done this. I mean, there's a lot of people who say that they can do virtual and whatever, but having successfully done one is a different. It's quite a plus. Yeah. So for me, I think I'll be quite keen to get it out, get the word out in whatever way we can. LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever.
Excellent. So guys, let's wrap up. We're ahead of time. It's 3:40 in Singapore time. I'm very grateful for all of you dialing in. Please reach out to me. Joshini, thank you very much for organizing this call. Both Audrey, Jesse, and Penny in Singapore are interacting with clients, trying to reshape their thinking. And we have a little bit of success, but we're not there yet. I also want to mention, if you guys see a guy called CF here, he's actually my business partner for another company. He's very keen to learn how we're doing it, because we're now going to do some product training for our technology that we're implementing in a different company. So guys, thank you very much. God bless all of you. I'm praying every day for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Excellent. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.